Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I am at my workplace. I'm here utilizing the alignment rack to make some camber adjustments on a Toyota MR2. It's my friend Brandon's car. Stay tuned after the alignment for updates and plans that I have for the EG over the winter. Now you guys might be wondering, Ryan, what are you doing working on a Toyota? Well, I have an answer for that, and it's a little something in the trunk here. It is a K-swap, so it's basically a Honda. This thing is absolutely tiny. Wheelbase on it is so short. This would be a perfect little autocross car. What we'll be adjusting today is camber. I believe Brandon wanted -3 degrees of camber in the front and -2 degrees of camber in the rear. You can see here, this is the reason why it's actually been rubbing. That's why you got some tire on the fender there. On the front left, you can see that there's clearly a lot more negative camber there. That's the tilt of the wheel at the top. It tilts in, that's negative, and the wheel tilts out, that's positive. Then of course I'll be making some adjustments to the rear. This thing does have BC Racing coilovers with adjustable pillow ball mounts at the top. So camber adjustments will be nice and easy. We'll get the alignment set up and we'll make some adjustments. All right, I got the car all set up on the rack. The heads are on. I did the roll compensation, the caster sweep, everything. I've got baseline readings. And if we look, front left camber is -3.5 and the front right is -1.3. As we suspected that the front left was gonna have a lot more, you can visually see it. Toe is at -0.04 on the front left. Front right is -0.16. That means the wheels are pointed outwards. And as far as the camber, negative camber, the wheels are tilted inside at the top. For the rear, we've got -2.4 degrees camber, and the front right, we got -1.8. Toe, -0.04, and on the right side, -0.08. As you can see, we're gonna try to get these to -3, and we're gonna try to get these here at the camber to -2. And after that, we'll adjust toe, and we'll try to zero everything out. All right, we're gonna start off with the rear camber adjustment first. And as I'm looking at the car here, the rear coilovers don't have an adjustable pillow ball mount at the top here. And the factory setup doesn't actually allow you to adjust camber. So we gotta go down, take a look to see what is done to the car suspension wise. It might have some control arms, some aftermarket ones that will allow us to adjust. I'm thinking this arm here is going to adjust camber because this is your eccentric for the toe adjustment. And I think that if I extend this arm, it'll give me more negative camber because it'll push the bottom of the knuckle out. And if I shorten it, it'll give me a more positive camber because it's sucking the bottom of that rear knuckle in. Yeah, and then we'll just extend or shorten the length of this control arm here, and we'll see if it makes adjustments to the camber. All right, looks like my hunch was correct. As I'm turning this and extending it, I'm actually getting more camber. So it was at 2.2, now it's at 2.3. So now I know if I go the opposite direction, I can pull it back some, give it a little bit more positive camber to go from -2.3 to -2. All right, so it looks like my assumption was correct. That control arm does in fact adjust camber. As you can see, it just turns to 2.0. So now I just gotta tighten up these lock nuts on each end and lock this control arm in that length, and then I can hop over to the passenger side, adjust that from -1.8 to -2, and after that I can adjust the toe, which I can just adjust this eccentric here and we should be good. All right, now that we're done with camber, we're on toe now. And all I have to do here is loosen up this nut on this side. It's an eccentric, so I turn the bolt on the other side and it'll pull and push this control arm out. But as you can see, those are my toe readings there, and they completely changed. And the cause of that was the change in camber. So that's usually why you want to adjust your camber first, and then you go ahead and adjust your toe. Because if you adjust your toe, then adjust your camber, the camber is going to throw the toe off. You can see 1.87 degrees positive. That means it's pointing in. Now we want it to point straight. What we want to do now is adjust this and get this wheel straight. All right, as you can see here, I've maxed out the eccentric, and my reading is still 0.51 on the rear left for toe. So it's still pointed in a little bit. It's not zeroed out yet. So because of that, it's a good thing I have an adjustable control arm here. I can adjust this to straighten out the wheel, and I should be good after that. All right, and what you just saw there is where I loosened those 4 bolts at the top of the mount, and then I pushed the whole coil over the wheel, everything in, and now I'm at negative 2.8 degrees of camber. I know our target was -3, but if you look, these screws are maxed out right here. Now technically I can move these 2 screws right here over into these other screw holes there, and then adjust 0.2 more. But the fact that it's bottomed out there, I like that because it's not gonna move anymore. So I think I'm just gonna tighten these down, leave it at -2.8. And then on the other side, I'm gonna adjust it, bring it back as this -3.5 on the front left. So I've gotta move that back to -2.8. So I'm tilting it outwards to match the front right. Now here's the tricky part here. I can't move the actual coilover out more because all the weight is loaded onto the suspension. So it's like pretty solid. What I have to do now is I have to lift the suspension up, take the weight off of it, and that way I can pull that coilover back and adjust the camber. So that's what I'll do now. I'll lift the front, make the adjustment, and tighten her down. All right, so I know it's a little bit dark under here, but we're gonna lift the car up in the front. And we're gonna lift just enough to get the weight off the suspension, and so that we can move that coilover. Look up here, we should be able to move it now. Look at that, just like that. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna move the location of these 2 screws a little bit farther forward, and we max it all the way in, then it should be at that -2.8. All right, camber is set. Here's the front left. Looks real good there, clears the fender. And the problem side was the front right. If you remember, it was rubbing. You can see all the tire there, but now it's tucked in nice. So if there's any compression, that wheel moves up into the fender well, you're a lot less likely to have tire to fender contact now. And as we come under the car here, this is the front left corner. This is the tie rod. This is what I am going to adjust in order to change the toe. Basically, I just gotta undo this lock nut, and then I can spin the inner tie rod, and that will either pull the tie rod in to give it more toe in, or extend it, giving it more toe out. All right, finally done with the alignment. I've got everything adjusted exactly how I want. The front camber is negative 2.8, right around there, negative 2.8, 2.7. The rear is negative 2 degrees of camber, and then I've got 0 toe front and rear. And as you can see here, we've addressed the issue before. It had a little bit too much positive camber, and as you can see, we had some tire to fender contact. That shouldn't happen anymore. It's nice and tucked in. This is Well guys, that's it for today's video. If you guys have a Toyota MR2 and you guys are looking to do a K-swap, hit these guys up, Mitch's Auto Parts in Michigan. These guys do everything MR2, K-swaps, put them together. This is what they do. They know what they're doing, so hit them up if you guys are planning on doing something along those lines. I also wanted to touch base with you guys on my plans for over the winter on the EG. I do plan on deleting the power brake booster using the Hone Developments brake booster delete, and then that means I have to use the 7/8 master cylinder, which means I have to bend 2 new lines. Nothing new, I've done this before. I'm also going to be removing the stock GSR intake manifold. I think that this thing is totally limiting my low end rev range. It is complete dog. So I'm going to be upgrading Black Friday sales Skunk 2 intake manifold, probably going to be a Pro Series, not the Ultra. Pro Series with a throttle body as well, thermal gaskets, all that stuff. That should really open up the low end for me. And then if you guys saw at my track day under left-hand turns, I had a massive vibration on the front right. That means I need axles, so I'll probably be going with Insane Shafts axles as well. And the big audacious goal for over the winter is to completely rewire my car. I'm talking about building the engine harness from scratch, building the interior harness from scratch, all the lights, absolutely everything, full-blown switch panel, remove the ignition switch with the key. If you don't know, I love wiring, and I've always wanted to build my own engine harness and interior harness and kind of completely wire a whole car. So that's going to be my goal for over the winter. Just a few things here and there, nothing too extensive as far as work, just getting the car back up and ready to go for next year for more track days and more seat time. And one thing that's really good is Brandon, the owner of this car, just built a brand new garage here in Chicago. So I'll be bringing my car from Wisconsin down to Chicago, and I'll actually have it here. I'll be able to work on it whenever I need to. This is gonna be so much more convenient instead of a 6-hour round trip to go work on my car. Car's gonna be here. Black Friday is coming soon. Parts are coming in. It's gonna be good. Stay up to date, guys. If you guys haven't noticed, I've got t-shirts. Hit up bvspeed.com. I've got t-shirts. You can get this 5-panel cat too. I've got a beanie, crew neck sweater, another variation of a t-shirt. I got a whole bunch of stuff. If you guys have ideas on what you guys want to see as far as like cell phone cases, I'm talking like socks, friggin' underwear. If you guys want BV Speed underwear, let me know. I can probably make it happen. So if you guys want to support the channel, go ahead, bvspeed.com, pick yourself up some merch. That will be awesome. Guys, thank you so much for watching. All the comments that I've been getting have been so kind, so fulfilling for myself. I'm just love inspiring you guys to build your own cars. And some guys have even gone out and bought cars because of this kind of stuff. So I appreciate you guys so much. Please, if you guys want to stay up to date with all this stuff, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you like it, please hit that thumbs up button. And it really helps if you guys do share the video. So please do that if you guys feel inclined to. If not, it's all right. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.